Anime for Halloween. That's the title. And this video was supposed to be filmed like a week ago, but I got a really nasty cold and I got my voice back just recently. I still cough a lot, so better late than never. Anyways, I always loved Halloween themed things, despite living in a country where it's not really celebrated. So, yeah, there's no trick or treating here, but horror films do tend to be shown around this time of the year, and I always like this time of the year because of that. So I thought, why not make a list of anime that are very suitable for Halloween? I won't go into any details, however, since this video is not supposed to include any spoilers, and the anime are also going to be in a completely random order besides the last one. So let's begin. The first series I'll talk about is Another. This anime has a mysterious and eerie atmosphere and is about a cursed classroom, which results in the students and their loved ones dying in horrendous ways. Turns out someone is an imposter who shouldn't be here, and the imposter themselves doesn't even know that they are an imposter. And as long as said imposter doesn't die, characters are just going to be stuck in the anime version of Final Destination. So prepare for a lot of deaths. This anime doesn't hold back, like there are like over 20 people die or something like that. So cursed cults are a common theme in anime, and Corpse Party is not much different, aside from being one of the goriest anime out there. It's not for everyone, but if you love horror, give it a shot. If you however prefer a more lighthearted version of anime that have a cursed school theme, but still have a eerie atmosphere, and happen to have one of the most hilarious dubs ever, then look no further than to watch Ghost Stories. There's no way a dub like this could be made currently, since these days people just tend to pander to a few individuals who say that they are offended to everything, and I cannot see how that dub could have been made these days without everybody immediately backpedaling, apologizing, and then just cutting the whole thing. But thankfully that didn't happen back in 2006, so we ended up with one dub that has so much creative freedom that it's just one of the most epic dubs ever. Like, here are some clips of it.
What? Ketero, what are you, retarded? Obviously. Which way did he go? Now we'll never find out who the ghost is. I hope to God you're adopted.
But for all his flaws, I really did love the guy. And the hot, sweaty, wall-slamming sex we used to have, wow!
God, can you go bomb an abortion clinic or something?
You just wait. When that wonderful president finishes stacking the Supreme Court, we won't have to.
When he died, I was so sad that I would never hear that voice again. His laugh. His funny little requests.
Touch me.
His reprimands.
Touch me harder.
No, now that it could never work between us. As much as we wanted to, it could never be. Not because you're a rabbit, but because you're black.
If you prefer things to be more serious, however, then watch Parasite. An anime where parasites take over people's bodies, so expect a lot of body horror. Then we have Soul Eater, another great pick for Halloween, and out of everything mentioned here, this one by far has the art style that is most suitable for Halloween. The anime itself is about weapon meisters and their partners who can transform into weapons, so of course you need to build a bond. So if you like shonen, I think you should like this anime. I don't get why it's so underrated really. Miracle-chan. It's about a girl who has a weird ability who I'm sure nobody wants to have. She can see horrible ghosts, and despite being terrified of them, she does her best to ignore them and live a normal life. And it doesn't always work like that. Serial Experiments Lain is another good candidate for those who like psychological horror, and it's an anime that was way ahead of its time. It's very hard to summarize it since it's a rather unnerving experience to watch it and lots of things happen. So to put it shortly, it shows what happens when people's identity melts away due to the influence of the internet, or the Wired, like how it's called in this series, and it's certainly an anime that leaves you uneasy and makes you think. Mononoke is quite a unique anime visually, and it's about someone known as the medicine seller who fights evil spirits that are tied to negative human emotion. The animation is quite psychedelic, making it quite an eerie experience, but perfect for Halloween. Shike is about a small village where suddenly a lot of mysterious deaths happen, and it's later revealed that vampire-like creatures, known as Shike, are to blame. It might start as something that you would expect to be typical vampire horror, but the ending, well, yeah, it's quite unnerving, nihilistic, and a criticism of humanity in general, which honestly wasn't what I expected it to be when I first began watching the series. So far we had several series whose main genre was horror, but let's talk about two anime series which both have over 1000 episodes, and only some episodes can really fit into this genre and are very suitable to be watched on Halloween. I'm sure you already know one of the series since I already made several videos about it, but the other one is One Piece, particularly Thriller Bark. This arc is about the Straw Hats dealing with Gecko Moria, whose devil fruit powers allow him to steal people's shadows and then place them into corpses, who then become his zombie servants. I really like this arc. It really is made for me. Some fans are kind of on the fence about it, but I personally love it, and it's my second favorite arc right after Alabasta. And then, of course, the other series, Detective Conan. While crime and death are a common theme here, horror elements are less common than you might expect. However, some episodes are an exception, and these are certainly great picks. And the good thing about Detective Conan is that these episodes are not connected to any kind of arc, so as long as you know just the basic premise of the series, you can just watch them without missing anything of the plot, since it's just made differently. And I really like this about Detective Conan. You can just skip episodes and you can still get the whole picture. So, let's start. Episodes 34 and 35 are about a bandaged man attacking people with an axe. And he even goes so far to chop up his victims, which is quite extreme for this series. Episode 50 deals with the detective boys finding out a dark secret of a librarian, who I am sure gave many young fans nightmares. Episode 136 and 137 cover a case where a serial killer at a castle makes sure that people who know too much disappear. And that's exactly what happens to Conan and his friends. Will the remaining kids find a way to save their friends? Episode 184 is a case about 200 supposedly haunted masks which cause misfortune to everyone who owns them. Add to this a creepy atmosphere and two twin mates who remind me of the twins from The Shining, and you have a recipe for a really spooky case. Episodes 712 till 714 are about a villa owned by an old man with a vampire obsession, and he apparently also became a vampire himself. Need I say more? And then episodes 754 till 756, The Tragedy of the Red Woman. This is a very creepy case which by itself could have been easily used for a horror movie plot. And long story short, a woman in red killed her husband when he cheated on her with a mistress, and she then disappeared in a forest. Years later, a group of friends get targeted with pranks which involve the color red. And eventually death gets served as well. Was it the work of the Red Woman? Well, watch the episode and find it out for yourself. Okay, now back to anime that are not part of a series who has been going on for nearly 30 years. And still good. Wicked City is set in a parallel universe of Tokyo, where humans and demons coexist. Sprinkle into that some body horror, action and violence, and well, let's just say that most fans of horror will be quite satisfied with the result. I certainly was. Vampire Hunter D consists of two films, the first from 1985 and the second from 2000, And while the second one is normally more praised, I'll say both are excellent picks. Both have an excellent atmosphere, and they should satisfy most horror fans. Next is Perfect Blue, a psychological thriller and horror movie that delves into the dark side of fame and identity. The main character is Mima, who apparently has everything, but that couldn't be further from the truth. Not only does she have to deal with stalkers who are obsessed with her, she also begins to lose touch with reality, and so do people around her. What is real and what's a delusion? Turns out a mix of both ends up being quite a terrifying combination. Keep track of the colors. It's my advice while you watch this film. And I would recommend rewatching it after a while because it's one of those films where you constantly notice something new. If you prefer to watch a similar and even more trippy film that is less scary or horrifying, then I suggest Paprika. This time reality and dreams mix, and the resulting lucid dreams are really something that you haven't seen before. And finally, my personal pick as the best anime to watch on Halloween is Hellsing Ultimate. If you like vampires, gore, epic fights, then this anime is for you. If you are older than 18, of course, because this anime doesn't hold back. There's also a Hellsing series which was made before the manga was finished, so it has a different ending and it's way tamer. It's still good, but it pales in comparison to Hellsing Ultimate. So this is my video. There are also, of course, some other good picks, which I'm sure some might be surprised that I didn't include, like Jujutsu Kaisen. And it's because I haven't watched it yet. Yes, I know that people praise it, I know that people love it, I know that people will shocked that I haven't watched it yet. But the problem is that I have a lot of things on my watch list and I have a limited amount of time. And I also have still to finish Detective Conan, because I've been laying off that series and said now I need to watch it. I need to watch every single episode so I catch up to the current episodes. And yeah, about 100 episodes more to go. Woohoo! But anyway, hope you have a pleasant evening. If you liked my video, then click the like button or share it. Everything helps with the YouTube algorithm. And of course, happy Halloween, guys!